Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be checking out some Dragonheir, and we're going to be looking at the tier list that we have in here, starting with our poison heroes. Now, as I've started to really enjoy this game, guys, and get into some of the tier lists and get into some of the heroes, did a little bit of research, jotted down some heroes. So I want to break it down, guys, starting with our legendary heroes in the S tier, which is the top tier we have here. And this is actually the first one, guys, which is Irrigander. Overall, super important defensive hero, guys, but in the poison tier, this is going to be one of your absolute priority heroes that you want to get if you're running poison. Now, overall, I have gotten a few heroes from the poison tier. Unfortunately, none of them legendary at this point, but I am really impressed with how well these poison heroes have been performing. And even when it comes to an epic versus a legendary, we have a couple that have been performing incredibly well. So again, he falls into that S tier. Now, the second one that falls into that S tier is actually right here, which is Lothar, legendary. And again, this is a poison hero, guys. And you can see some of them do have a little bit of more of a description in here. They have a captain. Now, this one, of course, guys, a sheer damage dealing monster. I love the poison ability and really running heroes within the same designation. So having a couple of heroes within the poison faction, I've actually seen that they kind of grow on each other, and a lot of them do run in conjunction. Some of their skills and abilities do go together incredibly well. And then the last one we look at is right here, guys, is Ogok. This is one, again, that is a support hero that I would love to see. It is a toxic witch doctor, which is kind of crazy, guys. He looks absolutely breathtaking to conclude the S tier right here. But of course, we do have a poison healer right now. This one dispels debuffs. And then, of course, guys, poison damage in there, and then summons a totem. So if you're similar to a lot of other heroes, guys, the immortality to allied heroes while it is buffed up. And then as the skill continues, you can see it gets stronger and stronger. And it is AoE everywhere, guys. So they are immune to death, making this, again, the last hero that is in that S tier. Now, looking at our A tier, we actually get into Durango right here. Again, a very cool aesthetic monk. Visually insane, guys. It is crazy to see this game and how the heroes do look in here. Almost looks like a old school god, but it is really, really cool to see the hero displays, guys, and how strong these heroes do look. This one, of course, a straight damage dealer in a bunch of different ways, stacking up that poison. Again, this starts our A tier. Now, the first one we have an epic is Frubath. So actually right in here, this is one that falls into the A tier, and this is the only one that falls into the A tier in the poison class that is of the epic variety. This, of course, is a defensive hero. So again, this is a tank. Have to have some tanks, guys. I realized in here running usually one tank and two support, or running double tank with one support does make a big difference, because a lot of heroes in here take an incredible amount of damage. But again, this is an epic hero that you definitely want to pick up. Then we go back to the legendary within the A tier again that we're looking, and this is the final one, or almost the final one for legendary. This, of course, is a priestess, again, poison. Some of them support, some of them have some different abilities, but as you can see, skill damage dealt to enemies less than 35% HP will be increased by 25%. That is a massive, massive buffer. And then headstrong, and then, of course, determination. Unable to be resurrected after being killed. So very cool. Again, PvP aspect. Damage generated by specific skills. Gain an enlightenment bonus, but cannot crit. And again, this hero falls into the A tier. And then we do have, moving into the B tier, we start getting into the lot of the epic heroes. Now, Corinne is actually one that I got last time we did our summons. Leveled him up. Pretty impressed overall in the tower defense version of this game. Works incredibly well when I've seen him in there with the poison. I've been using him quite a bit. Super excited that I got a hero out of the B tier, and he was actually the first hero that I got within the B tier. Now, there is also a legendary hero that falls within the B tier, which is right here, guys, which is a defensive. It's pretty cool. I believe this is a guy that we have seen actually in different parts of this game, but he falls into the B tier as a legendary hero. So you might be super stoked when you pull a legendary hero. And then ultimately, this is the one you get, the toadstool, which again is very cool looking at. Thought it was a hat, but it looks like it is actually into his head. But again, that is falling into the B tier. Now, as we get into further into the B tier, we actually have Ecos, which is right here, or Echoes. Again, a support hero, very cool. Imperative to carry and have these support heroes, guys. Makes a big difference. Again, looking at the debuffs reduces the damage they dealt by 10% in the same time, increasing the survivability of your heroes. Then, of course, the next one within that B tier is right. It starts with an S, Cyphrus. It's Cyphrus. This is the next one, guys, which again, another support hero. So you'll see kind of the nature, a lot of defensive heroes in here and a lot of support heroes within this tier. And then the last one is actually right up, Horus? No, it's not Horus. It's, oh, it falls in rare. So this one is actually the support hero that I do use currently. So this is the last hero that shows up in our B tier, Hexandra. So very, very cool support hero. Again, this is a hero that I have obtained. This is a hero that I actually do use with the healing in here. If they are damaged, it actually does a much higher healing rating to conclude our B tier. And then we get into the C tier, guys. These are all looking at the rare heroes that we have here in the C tier, starting with Noriel, which again is, or Norita, which starts right here, guys. Again, this is a hero that you start with. Overall survivability, I seem to have some issues with this hero, but I love the AoE damage that she does when she actually kills a target. The target explodes, poisoning and doing a ton of damage around a bunch of different targets, which is very, very cool to see. With this, killing the enemy with the skill will create a ranged explosion that deals poison damage. Now, next one we look at in this tier is Eli. Eli, again, a Forest Dweller. This is one that we've actually seen before. I don't think I have a copy of him yet, but we did see him again within this tier. A damage dealer and a range damage dealer at that, guys. Look at that. Putting him in the middle of the back, you have to pay attention to how the ranged heroes are actually, and any of the heroes really, where they're targeting when it comes to this ultimate ability really makes a difference for the placement within here. Then we get into our next hero, guys, which is Dench in the C tier, which is very cool looking. Again, visually stunning when it comes to some of these heroes, guys. Every third attack deals derivative poison damage to enemies, which it stacks. And again, when you're stacking poison heroes in formations, going to make a very, very big difference looking at the builds and looking at how they are. The Loraria Dragon Blood Warrior, again, another poison hero that falls within that C tier. And we only have one more hero in here, but you can see, guys, some of these rare heroes making their way into that very bottom tier. And the last one is right here, guys, which again, we do not have the Tribal Warrior, but it is a support hero. Again, making sure the ultimate ability, you can see the Poison Pike for the ultimate. Healing is reduced by 100%, which again, depending on the teams that you fight, that can make a really big difference in here for the tier list. So guys, this one is the poison tier list. Again, looking at a lot of the heroes in big picture, I mean, we have we have 6 legendary heroes out of all of these. So there's 3 that really don't fall into any tier that most players are not going to use. So I hope it helps really explain some of these. And again, as we continue go through here and making more progression in this game, really getting into it, figuring out our heroes, we're going to continue with the tier list for all of our different factions in here. It's really awesome to see the heroes that they have in here, and the design, the 3D modeling is awesome, and also the combat. So guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.